Kelly Stavros there talking to Will Turner, and that car, Joey Hand driving the Turner Motorsport BMW M6, the Riley built car, should tell you that Andy Lally stopped very, very early in the 66 TRG Porsche.
Okay,
in that, and there is
another of them.
Oh dear. And that,
we were just looking at Robin Liddell.
Got some serious damage right front there.
Yes, he has. Liddell third place in GT in the Camaro. Second place Pat Long, who was the leader, and this is Henri Richard, the French American.
That's going to be now where is he on the circuit? That looks like he might be, but that's not going to go anywhere because the wheels are pointing in different directions.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the damage to that wheel rim.
He had another turn 6 incident. That seems to have been everybody's favourite this year. He shares his car with Zach Brown, Richard Dean, Mark Thomas.
Oh, look at that, Mark.
And Rene Villeneuve. Well, it's not getting any better, is it?
No.
Okay, salient point there for all teams: stay off the green stuff.
He's actually come off on the second of the, and there is the first caution, so mark this one down then, at just over 44 minutes. He's on the second of the infield horseshoes, what's called the West Horseshoe, just underneath the West banking between NASCAR 1 and 2.
There you can see them going round the outside of the speedway in front of him. So he's come a long way off and nearly made it back on, but it looks like he caught the tyre wall, that right front wheel as well, on the way past. So our American colleagues taking a quick break here as it goes yellow. And so to let you know, Joey Hand leading, Patrick Long and Robin Liddell second and third in the GT class. We're also going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with you in just a second. Welcome back live to a very wet Daytona. Confusion reigning, as you can see, and looks very much as though cars are still behind the safety car. Yellow flags waving on the speedway. We saw the reason why a little moment or two ago with the 63 Racers Group Porsche being driven by Henri Richard from California, the French-American driver, putting the car off the road. But John, I think really we're perhaps seeing a pattern already being set for the race, aren't we? A lot of confusion, lots of pretty intermittent weather, and the resultant accidents and incidents.
Well, where Henri went off there, look at the aftermath, and we saw on the replay the huge amount of water. You get off the circuit here, it's going to be a nightmare. Now, already with only 45, just over 45 minutes gone of this race, coming up to 50 minutes, people coming into the pit lane, we saw some early pit strategy. There's a really odd set of yellow flags rules which we need to get our heads around, which we'll explain in a moment. But let's watch. So suffice to say, it will be the DPs, the Daytona prototypes in first. Here's the number 1 car with Scott Pruitt at the wheel, the Chip Ganassi car coming in for full service. Now there's an answer to one question, Martin. We were wondering if the Pirellis would be double stinted on the wet tyres. Certainly haven't seen that on the dries, but everybody coming in. Now the GT cars are not allowed in at this point. We'll go through this in a moment because it is a bit confusing, and in fact we had to get Robin Liddell to explain it to us and to the guys at dailysportscar.com earlier on today, because even some of the drivers didn't really understand. No driver changes, I'm thinking here, Martin. There'll be fuel and tyres.
And also a couple of doors open, which is batteries or demisting problems. We already saw Andy Lally coming in after 5 or 6 laps, only a couple of laps of green. In fact, before the green flag flew, he came in his GT class Porsche, and the prototypes now making their way out. Then the pit lane is open for GTs, and also while that is going on in a full course yellow, a 3-lap sequence. The third of those laps, prototypes are then allowed to pass GT cars to get back into the queue. So there's all sorts of ifs, buts and maybes, the result of all of which will only really get shuffled out if we've got a 5 or 6 lap yellow period.
Now if you're on the website, the Grand Am website, you'll be watching the live timing and scoring as well. It shows Dane Cameron, the former Star Mazda driver and Formula Audi.
Not Dave Cameron.
No, Dane Cameron, leading in the Bayer Racing Chevrolet. This is a Corvette, the only Crawford chassis in the race. It was a late entry, the number 2 car, bright yellow when you see it. He's sharing with Kurt Wagner, who knows his way around, the Los Angeles resident, and Jean-Dirk Luders, the Illinois based driver. Now, he has been scored at the head of the field. Now, whether that means he hasn't come in for the pit stop or not, I'm not entirely sure at the moment, because we're still looking at the number 02 car. This is Scott Dixon, who did not get out the car at the pit stop. He shares with Dario Franchitti, Jamie McMurray and Juan Pablo Montoya.
Well, we did see when the field came in, not all of the prototype field came in. Some went round again, and maybe that's just because...
There's Lally.
There's Andy Lally, who pitted earlier. Well, he's already out of sequence, so there's not really any need to come in here. On the other hand, is there any need not to come in here? You know, this early in the race, are you giving up that much track position? Bob Varsha on the left, David Hobbs on the right. Hobbs, not only a great raconteur, but once upon a time, I believe, was also a race driver. Raced in the first ever race here at Daytona. We're going to take a quick commercial break, as our American colleagues have done likewise. We'll follow them. We'll be back with more in just a second. Welcome back, everybody. Under caution here at Daytona. The Rolex 24 got off to a wet start behind the safety car. After 5 laps, the field were released, and most of them managed to keep it together for about a dozen further circuits of the famous tri-oval. But we are back under full course caution once more. Crash for the number 63 Racers Group Porsche, with Henri Richard at the wheel and John Hindhoff. It looks as though, well, they've got 23.5 hours to get it sorted, but it's going to take a fair time to get it sorted. However, only one driver's even sat in the car in the race, so my thinking is they will work hard to try and get it back out on track.
23 hours now, Martin, because don't forget they started the clock just 3 minutes under an hour ago. There is Lake Lloyd in the foreground, the 23 acre lake. Now there's the Singleton GT Corvette running in the race in the GT category. Well down already, and look like it's taking a little bit of a longer pit stop. They're looking at the left rear. This is the Godstone Ranch Motorsport team, the MBR team. Paul Edwards started that car, but he's lost a lap already. Let's quickly run you through how it looks on the timing and scoring as the GT cars begin to come into the pit lane, led by the Turner Motorsports BMW, and that was started by Joey Hand, the 94 car. Bill Oberlin, Paul Della Lena and Boris Said, the formidable driving talent there. So that's going to leave, I think, Martin Raginer in the lead, unless he comes in as well. That's Patrick Long in the 67 car that we just had a quick look at there. And I'm just wondering if that might have been a few moments ago, because we're now seeing the DPs behind the safety car again. And
that is the leader, the number 2 car, the bright orange number 2 car. They, we believe, had a very late engine change as well. Chevrolet motor on that. There was a document on the table of the stewards this morning asking for an engine change on the Singleton Crawford chassis. Now we go green once more. 21 laps completed. Post that as 22. Dave Cameron leads from the son of former winner Daniel Sexton Gurney. Alex Gurney, son of the tall Texan, in second place. For how long? Dixon. I'm not sure.
Rounding outside, Scott Dixon's got position here to this next right-hander, and he's going to be very forceful there, Martin.
Yeah,
the opening parts of the race, almost trading paint there, and he did that at the first start of the race as well.
Certainly did.
Look at that, the 99 car, really disadvantaged there. Alex Gurney losing a lot of time and having to defend.
Yeah, he twitched out of the way there, didn't he? And going around him as well was the Gainsco car, and Mimo Gidley, going past Alex. So he picks the Doran Racing car in third place now, going by the Gainsco car.